Hey, Inspire Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers. It's John Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is Tuesday, September 10th, 2024. The inspired mantra stands: we're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, we're free. Thank you so much for tuning in on X, Rumble, and YouTube. In the live chat, our moderator again today is Ronnie, our dear friend. Ronnie's doing a fantastic job. Thank you so much for being the best moderator. Of course, my wonderful wife, Christine, the wise thumbs in a live chat as inspired. And everybody else, welcome. I noticed we have a lot of viewers from Slovenia and Croatia. So, živijo prijatelji, kako ste, kako ste svi? Drago nam je da ste tu. So, just a welcome. And I look at our analytics sometimes, and I wish I could do that in every language. I can't, but I would love to learn it. All right, friends. I want to talk about something that, has been a theme on our channel, has been a theme in our work, Christine's and mine's, for 15 years, and show the big picture for this exciting time that we're in. We've talked so much about the split in timelines. People call this the ascension process. Others call this a split in society. The name doesn't really matter. But for the last 15 years, our intention has been, one, to show the truth to the best of our abilities as to who we are, what this is, how the artificial world functions, what all the pitfalls, the quote unquote conspiracies are, and what else could be possible. Now, sincerely speaking, Christine and I have always hoped that together with many others and a growing community, we could actually initiate a split in mainstream society. I mean, not a split, a shift in mainstream society, that we could turn the ship around and avoid some of the things that we're seeing now. Granted, we weren't successful with that. On the other hand, the second part, our second intention, equally important, was to show alternatives, to show how else we could live as societies, how else we could live as communities, and how grand we can become, not in self-importance, but in our co-creative powers if we discover that. I think when it comes to that second subject, together with a community around the world, we have succeeded. You, us, together, we've succeeded. The split has happened. The split is happening. I want to quickly talk about, and of course we have been, but just to drive one thing home, it is now certain beyond the shadow of a doubt that mainstream society and the mainstream systems, at least in the Western world, talking about Europe, talking about the United States, Canada, are collapsing. It is clear that a significant section of society is spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally sick to a degree we've never before seen. Since 2021, at the latest, there has been a manipulation of human physiology unlike any seen. These are unfortunately all factors that make it all but certain that society is collapsing. The economic system, the models that have run society for so long. So there's that. How is that going to go down? It's already going down, by the way. You go into big cities, and start intuitive. Even as you drive into a big city or you land at an airport, just tune in. You don't have to go to the parts of town that are completely run down, taken over by homeless or refugee camps or whatnot. You just tune in with your intuition, with your spirit, and you will feel that there is despair, sadness, desperation, depression. Not everywhere. There are always bubbles, but that is a theme in the cities. So this is something that people want to fight me on. That's totally fine. This is where we're at economically. What is happening? We're racing against the wall. So many people cannot afford to live any longer the way they used to. Their salaries used to put food on a table and make sure that they had a roof over their heads. Now it's becoming increasingly impossible for many people. The quality of life has gone down significantly because of these factors, because of the poisons that society is being bombarded with. So there is so much to say to that, and we have been. But I really want to speak to the split and what it is splitting up into. There is an incredibly inspiring and captivating movement all over the place of people who have committed to self reliance in all areas of their lives. This is the split. And the way that I see this play out, and I'm going to talk more about self reliance in a moment and what that really means, but the way that I see it play out, and this is intuitive. However, I haven't shared this intuition with others until recently, but I have listened to many others, especially in our community. And when I say our community, it's simply people who are truth and freedom oriented minded, who want to see humanity thrive, who are exposing this insane and sick system. So within this community, I hear some of the themes over and over again. And it's actually exciting because it's something I've been feeling myself for a long time now. And I've only recently started to talk about it. The way that I see this play out is that a lot of people within our beautiful community, our viewership, you guys, you're amazing people out there, will thrive, and I mean thrive, not just survive, thrive, while a lot of people around you will go through the greatest suffering, including physical death and despair. And that will be the greatest discrepancy that you and I have ever experienced in our lifetimes. It will almost be like symbolically speaking, the system is burning down, but you exist in your own bubble that you have created. And within that bubble, life isn't just okay. You're not just getting by. Life is actually pretty amazing. And you actually have a beautiful life. You have community, you have people around you, and you're thriving. And yet, you can, from that bubble, observe the madness and the insanity outside of that bubble. And that is something that we have hardly any reference points for. But that's what I've been downloading, I mean, just intuitively getting for many many months now, even years. And here's the thing, we were on the phone with our dear friends, people that have been on our channel, like Dr. Christiane Northrup, an amazing wonderful woman who's done so much for humanity, and others, and we talk regularly. We exchange, and they are observing exactly the same things. And I remember not recently we were on the phone, and then we were talking about this scenario, and Dr. Northrup said, you know what the funny thing is, you know what the interesting thing is, I feel like we as a community are going to do amazing. I feel like we're going to be fantastic. I feel like we're going to be thriving. And Christine and I just laughed because that's what we talk about so much. And that's what I've been getting for you guys. I mean, I can't speak for everyone who's watching clearly, but I've been just getting that for those who are committed, for those who comprehend how powerful co-creators they really are, these next years will be incredible, will actually be better than ever. And the irony is that the world is going through the worst ever, and it will get worse on a societal level, on that level, and that is now unstoppable. All metrics, all observations, we have crossed a Rubicon on that. But that is okay. I think ultimately that's where it was always leading, this insane technocratic system. And this is going to take its course. And people within society are probably going to some are going to make some irreversible, and already have made irreversible choices. And that must be okay. We must accept that people have their journeys, they have their choices, they have the autonomy to make those choices, and that we can't take their dignity by thinking we know better. What we can do is make the best possible choices for ourselves and become the best possible version of ourselves. That has been the message. And so I want to quickly talk a little bit more about self-reliance and what that means. This intro clip that we played here, here's the beautiful thing. When you went online 10, 15 years ago, and you were looking for self-reliant communities, off the grid homesteads and whatnot, oh, there was information, but it was sparse. It was here and there, and to a certain degree, wasn't really very inspiring. People kind of seemed to still have struggled with these subjects. Today, if you just look at this platform here, YouTube, and you look at self-reliance, off-the-grid living, how to do things, how people have been living, they're showing their journeys. It fills my heart. These people are so inspiring. They're showing what is possible, how beautiful life truly can be, even within this crazy matrix that we're in. And it is now in the millions and millions and millions. So we have templates, we have do-it-yourself guidelines. We can study this if you want to, and you can take the first step today, which is so important. We talk about baby steps. So let's talk a little bit about this split and what self-reliance means and how powerful it is. All right, friends, let's look at this here. So the first step is emotional self-reliance, which means this is about freeing your mind from the emotional manipulation that controls the masses. The system thrives on keeping people in a constant state of fear, anxiety, and division. Look at the media. It's a fear factory. They keep us in emotional turmoil so we can't think clearly. Emotional self-reliance means recognizing that you're in control of your emotions, not the system, not the media, not the politicians. So this is one of the most important ones that we have, that a lot of people are creating awareness and consciousness around, that we are not victims of our feelings and emotions. We can be if we choose to. We can be if we stay unconscious, but it is not our true nature. Our true nature is to be the master of our feelings, really, and to heal whatever needs healing in our past. That's why Christine and I have been talking about this so much. And thankfully, over the last years and decades, healing modalities and techniques have come up that are very, very powerful. One that Christine and I absolutely love and have been using ourselves and have been recommending and facilitating for many years is the Journey method. We're not affiliated, but I encourage everyone to go to thejourney.com, thejourney.com. Just look it up, find a practitioner, and go into deep trauma healing mode or trauma healing mode. Full disclosure, in all of my years, I've never met a person who hasn't had some kind of trauma in their past. Some is more minor, some are more severe, some are very severe. But in this society, I haven't met anyone who's made it without any traumatic experiences. So that is emotional self-reliance. Let's get to the next one, which is actually, I skipped a slide, my friends. You begin to trust your own inner feelings rather than the fear narratives fed to you. You start to heal your traumas and take responsibility for your emotional well-being. This cuts the strings that used to pull you around like a puppet. Okay, so I paraphrase that. Okay, next one. Physical self-reliance. Physical self-reliance is about taking control of your body and your health. The system feeds you poison, junk food, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, and makes you reliant on it for survival. But when you reconnect with nature, eat real food, and take care of your body, you become strong. You no longer depend on the corrupt medical system or the corporate food industry. Build your own wealth, your own strength, and become less susceptible to the manipulation through sickness and dependency. So what people are realizing, I'm sorry, have we lost you guys? Here we are. We're having some technical difficulties here, not on our end. I'm sure it's not the subject matter. These platforms would never manipulate messages like ours. Be losing you guys. Can you still hear us? Please let us know in a live chat if you can still hear and see me. So I'll continue going. Okay, good. So physical self-reliance, it doesn't simply mean, and it probably isn't feasible for every single individual to fully step into off-the-grid living right away. There are smaller steps that we can all take every single day. It starts by looking at our most fundamental needs, which are food, water, and shelter. And let's just start with food. Like I've said so many times, if you choose to go to the grocery store and buy the crap, the poisonous crap, then don't be surprised if the quality of your health and your life is going down. Almost anywhere, everywhere in the world, people have access, if they choose to farmers markets. Farmers markets are usually run by people, and people are selling their food there who are local. A lot of them have awareness about naturally grown food, and many other things that make the food more nutritious. So this is accessible to people. Buying locally, find your local cattle operation, chicken operation, whatever. Look at how they're doing it. Buy off the farm, and you will know what you get. It is actually far simpler than people think. But physical self reliance also means to take full responsibility for your health. Listen, if you live your life in victim mode, you will constantly be victimized by life. And there is no one but you who can break that vicious cycle. I'll repeat that. If you live your life in victim mode, you will constantly be victimized by life, which will give you more reasons to believe you're a victim. It is a choice. You can step out of the victim mode and you can empower yourself with better choices. It isn't all about having to have a lot of money. No, these choices sometimes turn out to be cheaper in the short term even, but especially in the long run. Because once you start giving this avatar, this body, what it actually needs versus what the crap industry sells you, you need less because you have higher quality. More importantly, a lot of the diseases and problems and health problems start to come down slowly. A lot of people report that when they actually adjusted their diet properly, especially when they started growing some of their own food, that a lot of the high blood pressure, heart problems, even diabetes, all of that seems to get better. Of course, we're not giving medical advice, we're sharing anecdotal stories here, but this seems to be happening all over the place. I will say this again. The most important step is to first choose to take full, unconditional responsibility for your physical well being and health. Stop transferring responsibility. You might not have made, you might not be responsible for everything that has happened to you, but you're responsible for how you move forward from here on out. Spiritual self reliance. This is the ultimate form of freedom. The system wants you disconnected from your true nature, from the infinite consciousness that you really are. They want you plugged into their matrix, believing you're just a body and mind with limitations. Spiritual self reliance is the realization that you are an eternal being, a part of the infinite, and that your power comes from within. You stop looking outside yourself for guidance, for salvation, for answers. Instead, you connect to your higher self, to your true self, and live from a place of inner strength, peace, and knowing. When you are self reliant emotionally, physically, and spiritually, the system loses its grip on you. You become sovereign, empowered, and able to navigate this reality without falling into the traps laid out by those who seek to control. Self reliance is the foundation of true freedom. This is what all these people, and if you by any chance hear snoring, that's our 14-year-old golden retriever taking a good long nap right down here to my feet. Um, if you look at the people who have started their journey to self reliance, nobody will tell you, hey, it happened overnight. Nobody will say everything was easy. Nobody will say, this was a walk in the park. But everyone will say it was worth it. It is worth it. It is worth it. It is first and foremost a shift in consciousness. This split in society is real and it's happening, and I think it's extremely exciting. In 2016, there was a blog post posted to the World Economic Forum's website. I believe it was a member of Denmark's parliament, if I'm not mistaken, a young lady from Denmark who posted this infamous story about Welcome to 2030 and how she described the world according to the World Economic Forum in 2030. You will own nothing. You will be happy. You will live in the 15-minute city. Everything is taken care of. However, she is a little worried that somewhere, some place she doesn't know, someone is always listening, knows her thoughts, knows her worries, knows her fears, and she hopes that they won't use it against her. However, her life is basically taken care of. Everything is within 15 minutes, and she is living a artificial bliss experience. This was to many of us a wake up call, because for the first time, the self-appointed elites who desire to continue to control everything and everyone have stepped out of the shadows and have actually laid out the scenario of how they want it. Getting there is the collapse of society, but this is the solution that they want to present. In that same article, that lady also wrote that she sometimes thinks and even worries about the people who have chosen not to live in this system, who have chosen a more 19th century village lifestyle, and whether these people are struggling. Well, friends, we are these people. And I don't limit myself. We don't limit ourselves as a family and as a community to 19th century or 20th century. I really don't care how that's labeled, but a life that is filled with freedom, self-determination, self-reliance, and self-ownership, sovereignty, is such an empowerment to yourself and others around you. This is what the split is about. This is what this great transformation is about. We've talked about it for so many years. It is here. The one thing that can stop you from being part of this thriving community is to continue to hope that saviors outside of you will fix this. I'm sorry to say it, this is unfixable, because the it was always baked in. Like I've said so many times, and others have said, this system didn't get corrupted. It doesn't need to be fixed. It's doing exactly what it was supposed to do. That should tell you everything. And here we are. And people accuse me of talking about the same things over and over again. Well, there's nothing new under the sun, friends. We have been addicted to a system that pretends that it gives us everything we need, when it really gives us everything that destroys us slowly but surely and keeps us on its tit. That's what it does. Keeps us sucking on its tit and keeps us giving our life energy into it. But millions of people have chosen to step out of it, and they are doing it in urban areas, they're doing it in suburbs, they're even doing it in the cities to the degree that's possible. Baby steps. Do one thing today that will help you become a better version of you. And always look at this, what is the best possible me? What is my best possible life? If the answer is to fit into the matrix, to fill out the forms, to keep your head down, to go along with all insane societal trends, well, good for you. Then obviously, this is not the right place for you, and we're not the right people for you, because we're diametrically opposed to what is going on in society. But the beautiful thing is that there is another choice. And this is what's been kept from people. The choice isn't every 4 years, oh, vote for this or that person. That's not the choice I'm talking about. How about step out of it? How about, well, not playing? This is the system, the matrix is a playing field. It's like a football or a soccer field. And most people spend all their lives on that field thinking it's real. All there is. And the referee is the god of the field. Referee holds the cards. I better keep my head down or the ref will punish me. Guess what? Every now and then, someone stops running, someone stops kicking, someone stops throwing the ball, and just looks around and goes, "You telling me this is all there is? Well, let me walk off this field and see what's beyond it." And that's when all the good stuff starts to happen. I will say this again. In my perception, in my calculations, in my now 20 plus years of deep studying this, there is no turning this around in society, in the system. This system is collapsing. People are going insane. Madness is everywhere within it. However, one step out of it, and you see paradise like stuff. You see beauty. You see love. You see cooperation. You see community. You see um, thriving families, healthy children. All of that does exist in the world today. Families that stick together, multi-generational families that help each other, that literally are the village that it requires to raise a child. All of that does exist. So, will we continue to hopefully reach and inspire people within the system to wake up? Yes. Yes, we're still called to do that. We haven't been called to completely step out of it and don't do that, because every day people are still joining us. Every day new people are still finding this. However, a significant part of our focus is looking and taking specific action steps to create the best possible version of ourselves, our best possible lives, and assist others in doing so. That must be the goal now. I am amazed and sometimes saddened and shocked by how many highly intelligent and capable people are investing 100% of their lifetime and energy into trying to fix a system that is unfixable, because the fix was in from the beginning. And they're only looking for solutions within the system, possibly not knowing that they're gatekeepers, that they're keeping themselves and others from exploring greater options and greater truths. There are 90% of all the solutions are outside of this system. If you want to stay in it, well, that's your choice. That's your prerogative. What we're saying is, by returning to fundamentally natural, basic principles, by connecting with spirit, by raising our consciousness, we are not lone wolves in the wilderness. We're creating communities that are creating uh, authentic systems, a system whose only purpose is to serve us. We don't serve it. The system, any system, has to serve the people that it is comprised of. So we can remove, looking at society system today, how any nation is run, you could remove about 95% of everything. The bureaucracy, the rules, the regulations, everything doesn't serve anyone. It just feeds the beast. And then you have a foundation of what actually is required and necessary to help people within communities to live with each other and to thrive. So, will we and are we empowering ourselves to the point where we say we don't need any politicians any longer? We don't need self appointed experts. We don't need technocrats. We don't need a self appointed elite. We don't need a shadow government or a deep state or a cabal to run things for us. We can run things ourselves. We can create sovereign communities with sovereign systems, thriving, laughing children, happy families, and most importantly, guided by truth, guided by love, guided by companionship, and guided by a higher level of consciousness. This is the split. You choose where you want to be. I know what our choice is. I know what our red line in the sand is. And I'm actually excited. I'm sorry to say this. And again, these are all statements that people always scold me for. But hey, if you don't like it, right? If what I'm saying doesn't speak to you, well, you have a sovereign choice. Click away. Watch something else, right? in my perception, this collapse can't happen fast enough. It's been dragging on, it's been dragging out, it's been uh, initiated, then slowed down again. It's hurting people. It's making people tired. It's making people uh, impatient. This is just to wear people down, to basically bring them down to their bones, so that they have zero resolve, zero strength left. So here, my intention is let it come down, and let us use our strength and creation power and inspiration to create that which we actually want. All right, my friends, this is it from us for today. A shorter show. Also, wanted to recommend something to you. Just if you want to get your mind blown over and over again and expand further and further, this book is out now. David Icke's The Reveal. We're going to have David Icke on, by the way, for another interview next week. I'm excited for this conversation. And this is expansion like never before. It's actually a trilogy. His latest books, The Trap, The Dream, and this here, The Reveal. I would recommend all three of them, but this is the latest, and just an incredible journey for the mind, for the spirit, and for consciousness. All right, friends, thank you so much for tuning in. We love you all. We appreciate you. We will be back with you again very, very soon. Right now, you could be only a few clicks away from experiencing something amazing, something that has changed thousands of lives all over the world. I'm talking about a high consciousness field similar to those at pilgrimage sites and sacred places. It's where people go to heal, to connect, and to become the best possible version of themselves. With FLFE, you can bring such a high consciousness field into your home right now. It's a spiritual quantum technology based on the work of Nikola Tesla. Better sleep, more energy, greater well-being, improved finances, electrosmog mitigation. These are only some of the things people on the FLFE service are experiencing. Try it now for 15 days completely free of charge, no credit card needed. Just click on a link down below to start your free, no strings attached FLFE trial right now.